So it's voting time again in Switzerland, and this time in Bern it's a bumper vote because there's not only referendums to vote on, but elections as well. So I'm going to briefly explain what I had to do as a voter. And I became a voter as soon as I became Swiss. I was automatically registered, so there was no complications with that. Everything arrives by post, and I can return everything by post if I want. It's not controversial at all. First up, referendum, as nearly always. This time I've got one voting sheet with 2 national votes and 3 local ones. And as always, information on both the national and the local. So all I have to do there is vote yes or no on the different things up for grabs and keep the voting sheet to return. Then it gets a little bit more complicated because there are 3 different elections in the city of Bern. The easiest one, and by the way, you get a whole information booklet on how to vote because it's not just a matter of putting a cross somewhere. So the easiest one is the vote for city president, and there are only 2 candidates. He's kind of like the mayor. Only 2 candidates, so I choose which one I want, write his name in, but this time around it's 2 men, and put that voting sheet aside as well. Then the government, which is a 5-member government and always represents different parties. It's a sort of permanent consensus coalition. So I have a voting sheet with 5 spaces, so I get 5 votes. And either I can write in the 5 names of the candidates I want to vote for, and that is my voting sheet, or I can choose one of the pre-printed lists with the candidates from either the right wing, the middle, or the left wing. They have kind of voting blocks, and I just attach that list and put it into my voting envelope. And the candidates with the most votes get elected to the city government. Then comes city parliament, and that can be simple, but you can make it complicated if you want. So city parliament has 80 seats, so I get 80 votes. And every voting sheet, there are 19 different lists, and each one is huge like this with 80 spaces. So either I can, if I really want to, write in the names of 80 different candidates that I want to elect from across all the different parties and coalitions. Or just like with the government election, I can choose a pre-printed list. So this is the Young Green Liberals, and they have all their candidates pre-printed. They don't have 80 candidates, they have 40 candidates, and each one is there twice. I'll explain why in a minute. So I could just use that list, and then the whole of the Young Green Liberals would get my 80 votes. Some parties aren't that big, so here is the lovely, very, very lovely party, great name. They only have about 11 candidates, so I could just use this list, vote for their 11 candidates, and then add other candidates that I want. Because there are different ways of voting, and that's where this instruction booklet comes in. You can make your own list, as I said. You can use a pre-printed list, or you can do different things on your own list or on a pre-printed list. So if I were to take this Young Green Liberal list, for instance, I could cross out the names of the people on this list I don't want my vote to go to. So it could be that I like half the candidates in this list and really don't like the other half, so I cross out the ones I don't like and the other half get my votes. So that's a way of voting for a party, but getting rid of the candidates you don't want. The other thing I can do is I can write in a candidate's name again. So for the Very, Very Lovely party, for instance, not all their candidates are on there twice. So I can write in a candidate's name a second time, and then that candidate will get 2 of my votes. It's maximum twice. You can't write in the name 10 times. So on the Young Green Liberal list, they're already there all twice. So they all automatically, if I use this list as it is, automatically get 2 of my votes. Or I can cross out one name and write in another name. Assuming that name hasn't already been on the list twice. The other thing I can do is I can take one party list, and if there are spaces. I can write in names from other parties. That's called splitting the vote. It's kind of like pick and mix. Or I can take this list, cross out enough names, and then write in names from other parties. So it is complete voter choice. You have complete control. You can vote for one party, one list. You can vote for individual candidates. You can mix and match. The second big thing I get, so I get this, which is all the voting lists, and I get this, which is all the election information. So every party or every list is included, and every voter gets all this if they really want to wade through all the candidates and all the promises that they're not going to keep. And that's for both the city council, the city president, and the city parliament. So all of that, my 3 voting lists and my referendum, go into the voting envelope, along with my voting card, which I have to sign. I put all my lists and my voting card into the envelope. There's nothing on the outside to say who I am. So it's obviously secret ballot, anonymous. And then that goes in the envelope I received it in, and I post it back to the city hall. Now, either I can deliver it in person. I have until Saturday. The election is on Sunday. As always in Switzerland, all elections are on Sunday. I have until Saturday to deliver it at the voting box in City Hall, or I can post it by normal post, but then it has to arrive by Saturday lunchtime. There's none of this mess that there was in America recently with when was the postmark, when did it arrive, was it posted on election day? If your vote is not there by Saturday, you do not get included. It's as simple as that. Or on Sunday itself, I can go to the one polling station that is open and deliver my vote in person. And that's open until midday on Sunday because 90% of people vote by post, and so the votes are already being counted and tabulated, ready for the last final live votes, so that the results come through around about 6, 7 o'clock Sunday evening. You don't have to wait up till 2 o'clock in the morning. So that's what I do as a voter in Bern. In other cantons this time around, they'll have national referendums and local referendums and maybe local elections as well. It's always different. It's been a bit of a learning curve for me because in Britain, where I used to vote, it was just X marks the spot, and I didn't have to think about striking and accumulating and pick and mix and 80 votes for 80 candidates. But I've enjoyed it, and I'm going off to post my vote now.